Right everyone, welcome back again to the channel. Just another quick update, well, just a bit of an update really. Going back to the cooler, which was on the previous video. If you've not already seen that, I recommend you go back and have a look at that, because yeah, it's proper. I know I keep saying amazing, but it really is. But anyway, I thought I'm just going to make a short quick video just to well, update you first on that. I tested the wattage out on it, which yeah, it's just proper. So basically on fan setting 1 it uses about between 1 and 2 watts. Fan setting 2 uses about 3, and then fan setting 3 uses about 5 watts. So if you have it on like fan setting 1, it's using hardly anything. Sorry, I'll just come inside a bit because there's a bit of a noise there's a bit of a truck out there just removing a skip. So yeah, so for that, I mean, it hardly uses any power whatsoever. So going off that subject, I thought what I'll do is I'll make a little video about your pre-check, your pre-journey checks. Obviously I run a business, I run a garage, so I've been in the trade for 25 years or so. So I just thought I'd make a quick video just to try and help people and just let you know what sort of pre-checks you should do when you're going on any long journey, or whether it be at least once a month you should be checking these type of things. And I just thought I have serviced the van, so the van's all fully serviced. So I'll just go through the checks with you just to show you what you should be doing on probably on a monthly basis really, or at least before any long journey that you go on, just to prevent you having any issues and having to get the fourth emergency service out, which is the AA or RAC or green flag or whoever. So let me just run you through. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to check all your lights. So you want to check all your brake lights are working, your indicators are working, your fog lights working, you want to check your number plate lights are working. You want to have a general look round the vehicle just to make sure, check your tyres, make sure your tyre depths are correct. And also make sure you check the inside edge, because all you can see usually is this outside edge, but many occasions you get the tyre wearing unevenly, and they can wear more on the inside edge, which you can't see. So make sure you have a proper good visual check of that. I mean, I know that these are all good because I've checked everything. Check your brake pads. So a lot of people don't realise you don't need to take your wheels off all the time to check your brake pads. You can actually see through there and just see how much is left on those brake pads. It's just a visual check. Get a light in there and just see how much. If you've got more than sort of 5 or 6 mil, you know, you're good to go. They don't wear so much on the back either. Obviously check your tyre pressures. Make sure you've got the correct tyre pressures, which is always helpful. Then just go around the vehicle, just make sure everything's all secure. Check the fronts again, check the inside. If you can't quite see the fronts, just turn the steering wheel to full lock so you can check that inside edge, you know. And as you can see, I can see the brake pads on there, you know. The brake pads are looking good. They're a bit rusty, the discs are up because I've just washed the van. But yeah, again, check all your pressures, check the tyre pressure, check your side repeater, put your hazards on. Again, come around to the front, check everything, check your headlights, check your side lights, check your daytime running lights, check your horn, check your washers and wipers. Make sure they're working and they're clearing the screen properly, because the last thing you want is a bit of monsoon rain coming through, I don't know, maybe coming through Switzerland or coming through the Welsh, or coming through the Snowdonia or something like that, or coming through Scotland, the Highlands. You know, you want to have some wipers at work. Make sure your wing mirrors are all secure. Side repeaters again, just go around, check everything is all good. You know, that's the obvious external things you can do. That's dead simple. It takes 2 minutes. Well, it takes less than 5 minutes to be able to do that. Check all your instruments are working inside the car. Right, so then we come round to the obviously under the bonnet stuff, which again, it's really simple. Anybody can do this, you know. Again, check the oil level. Find your dipstick, pull your dipstick out, give it a wipe. Never check your dipstick without wiping it first, and always dip the oil and check your dipstick. There's a top tip. Check your oil with your dipstick pointing downwards. Never check it when like that, because I see a lot of people doing that when they check oil, and all that's going to do is give you a false reading, because the oil's just going to run down the dipstick, which is it's common sense really, but a lot of people do it. I mean, obviously we've changed the air filter on this, which is there. I've checked all the levels. Make sure your washer fluid's all topped up. Make sure your coolant level is at maximum, and if it's below maximum, just top it up a little bit. Be careful when you take the cap off. Never take that cap off when it's when the engine's hot. I'm also, because I can, I'm gonna regas, just check the aircon. I'm gonna get the aircon machine on it, and I'll perhaps go through that with you as well when I do that. I might do that tomorrow, so I'll probably add it on to the end of this video, and just show you how we regas the system, the aircon system, and how we service it basically. So because we're going to hot climates, I want to make sure that the aircon is working as efficient as it possibly can. It probably doesn't need topping up or anything, because I did do it last year. I think I did it before we went to Sky, to be honest, so I can't see it needing anything, but because I can, I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, like I say, I've changed the oil filter, the air filter, changed the oil and filter. Doesn't need the diesel filter change on this at the moment. It's not at that sort of schedule. Check your battery, you know, check your battery terminals. Make sure your battery terminals are all tight, and you know, then there's no movement in there. Make sure that they're tight. Make sure your battery's good as well. I mean, I could do a battery test on it. I know this battery's a little bit weak, to be honest, but I do take my booster pack with us wherever we go, because it has got us out of the do a little bit on a couple of occasions when I've left the radio on in the van, because the sound system in the van's brilliant. So I like to listen to, sometimes when we're partying, you know, we like to have some decent music. So yeah, it's caught us out a couple of times, and I've actually helped people out with it when we went to World Superbikes at Donington. There's a person that was stranded trying to bump start his car, and obviously I went to the rescue because I took my booster pack, so that helped out a lot. So yeah, just go around everything, just check everything. I've showed you the most important things to do really. There's nothing really more to say or to check that you can check yourself. You know, everything I've showed you there is a simple thing to do. Anybody can do it. And the other thing is as well, if you're traveling abroad, make sure you get your headlight deflectors on. Check your number plates as well. Make sure that your number plates are secure and they're not going to fall off. And that's about it really. But these sort of checks, sorry about the lighting, these sort of checks you should be doing on a monthly basis anyway. So you should do this at least once a month, just as good practice really, and especially when we come to the winter months. Your tyres and your tyre pressures are really important, so just make sure you do that. And you ain't got to go to the garage. Well, you can go to well, bring it to me if you want, but to do those simple checks, just so it you know, because if there's something obvious like you have got a scrubbing tyre or your tyres are low, it's something you can visually check yourself, and then you're not going to have a blowout on the motorway. You know, you're not going to have an unfortunate, like, yeah, where it's just going to catch you out, which you didn't realise because you've not checked the inside edge of the tyre. But if you keep your car maintained or your van maintained, get it serviced on a regular basis, you know, once a year at least with your MOT, then you shouldn't have any problems anyway. But if you do go on a long journey, then I do recommend just doing those simple little checks. And if your oil does need topping up, top it up, but always top it up with the correct oil. Never just top it up with any supermarket rubbish or the wrong grade. Always make sure you check it. You check what spec it is in your manual and put the right oil in, the right grade, the right spec, and then just top it up. And it's always handy to keep a litre or half a litre in the van with you. So if you do need to top it up while you're on your journey, you can just add a bit, and we haven't got to go around trying to find a service station or a petrol station or something like that with it. And then that's it really. Make sure your AdBlue's topped up. I mean, we're probably going to do 3,000 miles on this journey, so I'm going to make sure we've got plenty of AdBlue in there. And that's it really. I don't think there's much else I can tell you. But just, yeah, like I say, just make sure everything is as it should be, and you won't go wrong. I hope this helps you. If you do have any questions, or you do have any not sure about anything, then put it in the comments and I'll try and answer them, which I always will, I'm trying to do anyway. And yeah, that's it really. So I hope you enjoyed it. Right then, as promised, I'm going to show you how we do Aircon regas. Sorry if I waffled on a little bit too long on the last section, but I do get carried away. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this. I don't advise anybody to try and attempt this. I've got to have a special certificate to be able to do this. You have to have an F-gas. You have to be F-gas trained and everything on it. So I don't recommend anybody to try and do this without the equipment anyway. Or just take it to a professional. You never mess around with air conditioning because you're working at silly pressures, which you'll see. Because operating pressure of this is around about 15 bar, so you don't want to be messing around with it if you don't know what you're doing. But I will show you what the procedure is, just because it's interesting for a lot of people, but never try and attempt to do this yourselves. And this video is in no way trying to show you or for you to try and do stuff DIY and all that kind of rubbish, because you take off any of these aircon pipes, you're going to get a face full of gas at high pressure. So just don't mess with it. If you need your air conditioning servicing, take it to a professional or bring it to me. Right, so anyway, so first thing we do is we look for the ports, which are just there, look. Different gas, a new gas is a different type of port, so you can't make a mistake with that. So we take those off, and we get the couplers off the machine. High pressure and low pressure. So you've got a high pressure and low pressure side. So it might be a bit difficult to do with one hand, but we'll have a go. So we get that low pressure side on. We get the high pressure side on. I know that this is going to have plenty of gas in it. So this one always gives me, there we go. Right, so usually on the vehicle, it'll have a sticker somewhere like this. And it'll tell you the type of refrigerant that's in it, the amount of refrigerant, which is 600 grams, if you can see that. Tells you the oil that should be in, which is PAG, which is standard. We also add a bit of dye in there as well, because if you do have any leaks at some point, the system will have the dye in there so you can identify it with the UV light. So then we go over to the machine. We want assisted procedure, because I like to see it step by step. You can do it fully automatic, but I like to make sure that every step has been done correctly and I can monitor it. So because I know the system is it's working very efficient and there's no issues with it, I just want to do a regas, but I'll go through the quick procedure with you anyway. So first thing we do is we've got the couplers on. So we need to do a recovery of the gas. Now this machine actually recycles the gas, so it will recycle it, filter it, and make it like brand new. So all we need to do is open the high and low sides. There we go. Press enter or press start, and that's going to start the recovery recycling of the gas. So hopefully it should take up somewhere around about, well, it should take out around about 600. It'll probably be around about the 500 mark, because I bet we've lost some over the period of time that we've been using it. So we'll just let that recover. Once it's recovered, I'll go on to the next step. Right, okay, so we're back again. So yeah, we've done the gas recycling and recovery. We've took the oil out. I'm not going to show you what the next stage would be. Would be to do a vacuum on there to check for any leaks, take any moisture out of the system, and so on and so on. I'm not going to show you all that. We're ready for the gas injection. I've already injected the oil. I've done the recovery. I've done the vacuum. I don't want to show you all that because it will just bore you to death. I've done the oil and dye injection. I'm about to put the gas back in. Now the gas was down. It was down about 170 grams, which is normal. But with us not using it all year and it's been parked up a lot of the time, you're going to lose a bit of gas, and that's the reason why it recommends you get your aircon done every 2 years basically, because you do lose gas over the period of time. It's a bit like tire pressures. Even though you've got no punctures there, you've got no leaks, you still lose tire pressure. and they only run at 2 bar. Your tyre pressure is standard at 2 bar, so an air conditioning system running at 15 bar, you're bound to lose a bit of pressure. If you have got a leak and you've got 0 gas in there, then obviously 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the condenser at the front. Always leak, they do. It only takes a little stone or even an insect. I've seen them where bees have popped them before. So yeah, that's not the case with this. It's just lost the gas because, you know, through usage and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm not worried about it. 170 grams over that last year or 9 months is not too bad. So what I'm going to do is, this one requires that we put in, as we can see there, 600 grams. See, 0.6 kilograms, which is 600 grams. So we put that into the machine, which I've already done. I've already done the 15-minute vacuum. I've already put the oil and tracer dye in. So the next stage is to inject the gas. So we're going to go for that. So we press enter. We don't need to put the registration plate in because we're not print. It does print out, but we're not doing a print out because it's for our own van. So we put that in, and then we'll let that inject. As you will be able to see, the pressure will build. Pressure is building, high and low pressure, and it's injecting the gas in. Okay, so that'll get up to 600 grams, and then once it hits that, we can then lock it off and we can run the vehicle, check, make sure that all the pressures are running correct, make sure that there's no leaks, which I don't think there will be, and then that's basically it, and we're good to go. We're cold. The other thing I meant to mention as well, just as another quick tip, when you're for anybody that's got a motorhome or a camper van that's got a fridge inside, we've got solar on the roof. So for me, it's okay. What I do is I've turned the fridge on this morning on full whack and I've left it outside, and basically that's giving me this. Oh, my phone's ringing, excuse me a second. So that's giving me basically free power to get the fridge up to temperature. Now we're not going until Wednesday, so I know 24 hours later that fridge is going to be sorted. So tonight I'm going to put the vehicle back outside again, and we're going to get some free energy. Why plug it in, you know? So that's what I do, because I know that we've got lithium. I can leave it out there, bring it in when I finish work later on. Overnight I'll turn the fridge down to sort of like 2 or 3, so it's not using too much without the solar. Not have to worry that much because we have got lithium. But and then what I'll do is we'll run it back outside, and we're going to go on a pretty long journey anyway to charge the batteries up, so that's not an issue for us. But the other tip I can give you is if you are planning on going away, just hook it up. If you've got the facility to hook it up to the mains the night before you go anywhere. Get that fridge going, you know, get it going, give it a head start already, because what you don't want it to do is, if you're only going on a couple of hour journey, there's no way that fridge is going to get up to down to temperature on a couple of hour journey. A lot of people I see, they put the fridges on just before they start, they load the fridge up with warm food, they put the fridge on, and then they drive and expect the fridge to be freezing cold when they get to wherever they get. It ain't happening. And then all that's going to do is put extra strain, unnecessary strain on your battery. So what I recommend you do, if you've got solar, leave it outside, let the fridge run off the solar. If you haven't got solar, hook it up the night before, get your fridge going. Most importantly, whatever you put in the fridge, put it fridge cold. So put it from your fridge, or if you've just been shopping, straight from that fridge straight into your fridge, because the colder the food is, again, it gives it it gets it going, and it gives it doesn't, you're not having to instantly, because if you're putting warm food in there, you're literally warming the fridge up and it's going to have to work harder. But if you put in fridge cold ready food in there, you know, it's going to help it all the way. The other tip I'll give you as well, if you've got some ice, put some ice in the freezer. That's beeping because it's telling me the aircon's on. Put some ice in the freezer, because that then gives the fridge again a healthier, and it maintains the temperature a lot better, which is what we found. And they're the tips really for the fridge. You should never just turn it on just before your journey, because there's no way it's going to get cold enough. And all it's going to do is, if you've got a weak leisure battery, or you've not got a great battery, you're just going to put strain and stress on it. You know, it's all right if you're going to go and go on a hookup straight away, but I would suggest chilling it down first. Then all your food's going to be proper, ready to go. Your beers especially, that's the most important thing. They're going to be ready to go, aren't they? So anyway, that's beeping, that's done. So now it's telling me, look, end of procedure. close the high and low coupler, press start. Okay, so now it wants me to ignite the motor, so basically start the engine up, turn the air conditioning on, and check so we can check the pressures. So we'll do that now. We'll do that now so we can see everything and you can see what sort of pressure this thing runs at. Obviously different vehicles run slightly different pressure depending on what compressors they've got on them. But, oh, I need to turn the aircon on, don't I? Might help. Alright, so we put the aircon on. We'll put it on cold, aircon on. There we go. There we go, you can see the high pressure building now the compressor's kicked in. Can you see that? It's running 150 psi right now. Low pressure's about 2 bar, about 30 psi, which is what your tyre pressures are. So that's bobbling around about, yeah, it'll go up and down as the pressure, as the aircon builds and it's doing its job. You'll hear the fans cutting because the fans are cutting in to try and cool the condenser, because obviously the gas, you're basically turning liquid into gas and that generates heat. So the cold side is the gas side, the hot side is the liquid side, because of the pressure that it's forcing it through generates that heat. So you need fans, that's why you always hear your fans kicking in when your aircon's on, just to try and cool that condenser down at the front. And obviously as you're driving, that's assisting it to cool down as well. So yeah, that's basically it. I just have to check this, make sure that we've not got any leaks, make sure that everything's working correctly. I need to empty the hoses, which I'm going to do now, because there's still gas in the pipe, so we need to make sure that that's emptied out. So we do that. Open up the taps and you'll see the pressure drop both sides. Once they level out, it's safe to take the pipes off. So once it's doing its cycle, see, high pressure's dropping, it's basically taking the pipes out. So that's around 2 bar, that's around 2 bar still coming down, so it's emptying the hoses nicely there. That's safe to do, safe to take off. So we should have a fully serviced air conditioning system now. Didn't take long, did it, when you know what you're doing? But anyway, I hope these little bits and bobs and these little tips help you out. Like I say, if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. Please be nice. Don't try and be Johnny Big Balls and think you know it all, because a lot of people do generally think they know it all, but they don't know anything. Especially about air conditioning or cars and mechanics in general. So I don't mean to be funny, I just, you know, there is a lot of forum warriors out there, as I call them. But anyway, I hope it helps you. I hope the tips with the fridge, I hope the tips with doing your vehicle checks, I mean, the vehicle checks can relate to any vehicle you've got, it doesn't have to be the camper van. And the fridge tips, I hope that's just what we found that works for us, and it's the best way. We use the van quite a lot, so we know what we're doing. And yeah, and that's me done waffling until we're on holiday. Yes, bring it on. Okay, I forgot to mention something. Just going back to the air conditioning. The tip I would recommend for that as well is also, when you've got your aircon on, use your air circulation button. Have that on, so what you're doing is you're not pulling the warm air from outside the vehicle and trying to cool that. If you've got your air circulation button, what it does is it shuts off. So it shuts off the air from coming in from outside. So basically you're just recirculating the air inside the vehicle. So if you're doing that, your aircon's going to work a lot more efficient. It's going to be a lot more cold, because you're literally you're cooling down the already cold air. So it will make it a lot more efficient. If you're trying to pull in 30-degree heat into the vents, into the vehicle, then cooling it through the evaporator, it's just gonna not work and not feel as cold. So that's what I would recommend. That's another little tip. You don't always have to do it. You can leave it on for half an hour, flick it off for another 10 minutes, let some fresh air get into the vehicle, then recycle it again, and just keep doing that, and it will make the vehicle a lot colder, so then your aircon's not working as hard, which is going to save you a bit more fuel. And obviously we all know on these Volkswagens they're not great on fuel, are they? So yeah, just another little bit of a tip there.